Hello. Good morning. It's Friday. It's been a week. I've been traveling. Yeah, let me pull some stuff up. Good morning, Rob and Hamid in the chat. Let me make sure. Yeah, I am not muted. Oh, goodness. It's been a week. What am I even doing? Yeah. So, I'm back. Traveled to China. Made it back to Berlin yesterday. Managed to avoid too many problems traveling. I had some delays, but the conference went really well. I was there for about a week. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Met some great folks. Some folks who had used Ergot. Hopefully got a bunch more people interested in using Ergot. I put the slides up, so I got this over here, but it's also in the repo now too. So if anyone wants to peek through my slides, you can preview. Once they have the recordings up, they said hopefully a week or two. So hopefully not too long of a wait. I will definitely add that to the repo and the docs somewhere. But yeah, I ended up rewriting this talk like 4 times because I realized I had like 4 talks to actually give, like the history of how we got here, why message passing is an interesting idea, especially for like async and embedded, how Ergot works, and then like what you can do with Ergot, and realize that when you only have 25 minutes, there's only so much you can cover. So I rewrote the talk like 4 times. I think I rewrote it twice just on the play ride over. So it's a little different than the outline that I think I went over on the last one, but it contains a lot of the stuff. It's just been a process. Like I said, the original outline rarely survives makes it to the initial outline rarely makes it to the talk exactly as it is. But yeah, covering a lot of stuff that folks probably know. Like mostly it was focusing on like, hey, I don't like these things in embedded. I do like these things in mostly non-embedded stuff. And then a little like peek of how things work and the kind of stuff you can do and some code snippets and stuff like that. So hopefully it was a good intro. I'll be happy to have it up on the doc somewhere as like a good 25-minute overview. But other than that, I don't think I did too much code-wise. I was too busy talking to people and meeting people and stuff like that. So, Rito definitely, or Trapitch, got a PR merged. I think I merged this as I was leaving in the airport. So this is cool because the microbit V2, which is an NRF52, is a cool little platform. And I think there are a lot of people who have it because one of the new versions of the Discovery book uses this. So I'm glad to have that as a demo. So very excited for that. Thank you, Rito. And let me go back to pull requests. Haobogu, who I actually got to meet. I have a picture with him together, so that's exciting. He's the one that works on like RMK and things like that. He noticed that one of the USB construction functions, which I ported over from Postcard RPC, had some problems. Like I didn't do it good. So this fixes that, and I think he was able to get it so that you could have like multiple endpoints going, so you can act as a keyboard but also as an Ergot device, which means that if you are doing more than just doing everything over Ergot, because you want compatibility with like a keyboard or let's say like a MIDI device or something, but you want a side channel for logs or firmware updates and things like that, this should work, which is exciting because I think a lot of our demos assume that you're just doing Ergot stuff, and I do that for a lot of my projects, but I think there's a lot of cases where Ergot is like not the main focus, or like I want it to work when it's still not the main focus when you're just using it for logs or management or calibration or whatever you're using it for. So very thankful to have that. I think the one kind of like design thing that I did is kind of thinking out of the bridge router stuff, because I think I've started working on pieces of that. I don't remember if I have those pushed up anywhere, but I've started hacking on it and, got far enough to realize some stuff of like, how am I going to do this? Like, I still think the biggest challenge is going to be how do we handle dynamic networks? So cases where like you have, let's say, an embedded device or something that you want to work standalone, but also sometimes, let me make sure this is in there. So like this is my Pico Calc, which I think is a very cool thing, but it has a couple microcontrollers in it, and I might make a board that has multiple microcontrollers in it. And so how do you make it so that it works really well when it's standing alone, and then when you plug it into a PC, it like reconfigures itself to join the network, and then maybe, it runs for 12 hours disconnected from the network. You plug it in, it runs for like an hour connected while you're charging or plugging it into your computer to sync files or something like that, and you unplug it and it has to keep working. And the question is like, what happened to all the devices that you assign addresses to? What if there's duplicates when it joins a new network? How much interruption are we allowed to have for like changing and renegotiating addresses and things like that? Do we have something complicated like NAT, which means that maybe the downstream devices don't even notice that something happened? So I think that's a lot to think about, but also like kind of sketching out the first bridge router device. So I'll probably do it on desktop just with TCP or whatever, so that I can make demos and we can test it and things like that, because I think we'll find problems very quickly. And so before we build like an optimized embedded implementation for it, let's shake out the design questions on the desktop where I can, spin up just a couple threads or workers and things like that. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, basically, like, this is just walking through sort of the state machine process of, like, we have upstream and downstream interfaces. How do we think about that? How do we assign stuff? How do we make sure that this works across multiple layers? All those good things. So, I mean, I think this is probably going to be the big question. It's rough because I don't have a super amount of time to dedicate to Ergot right now, and this is a fairly big design thing. So, I'm going to try my best to keep it moving and not let it get locked up too much. But yeah, I'll probably keep working on this. It's Friday. I'm definitely not I'm probably not going to do any Ergot work today because I need to catch up with client work because I've been traveling for a week, and it's kickoff of client work project time, or resuming client work project, really. So yeah, I still need to figure out what the plan for the stream is. I think I'll probably stream today. I probably won't stream this evening, so I'll probably update the I'll probably update here to say like at least twice a week. So I think there was some interest in let's see. I know Alexandra was saying Wednesday is better because I think Monday is like a meeting for her. So I'll probably, if you have opinions on when I should stream, mention it in chat. Otherwise, I'll say probably some of these slots I will keep, but maybe I'll do like Monday morning, Wednesday evening, Friday morning or something like that. I don't know. I probably won't be able to, like, it probably doesn't make sense to do 6 streams because I don't know if I'll have 6 streams worth of content. But if folks start opening PRs and stuff like that and there's a lot of community stuff, then maybe it does make sense for me to just, like, recap it and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I don't quite have as much full-time as I did in the, like, 5 weeks that I was doing Ergot full-time, but I want to keep it moving, and yeah. So, we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. But if people have opinions, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I will work on it as much as I reasonably can without running into other problems in my life. 6 streams is a lot, but it's been great having regular recaps of what's going on. Yeah, I think at least 2 a week. Like, whether that's Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Friday, or something like that. Maybe 3, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like I said, maybe like morning, afternoon, morning. So we get enough of a spread for people. I think that'd be cool. Because I do want to keep the momentum going. So we'll see. Yeah, I like having a regular schedule because people can expect when to show up. And if it's just randomly there, then they probably won't catch it until later. And I appreciate the people watching the VODs, but it's also nice to have to give people a chance to come and chat. But always do come check out the Matrix chat, because yeah, you can always catch me async there, regardless of your time zone or my time zone. But yeah, I don't have much. Like I said, I don't think I did anything in code. I showed a lot of people a lot of demos, so huge shout out to Rito for making that GUI demo. That was super impressive. People loved looking at that. Yeah, thanks to everyone. If you were at my talk at in Hangzhou, thank you for coming. I added a ton of people on WeChat, so hopefully lots of people who are interested. Some people who did some robotics stuff, some people who did some sensor stuff. So hopefully I get a chance to chat with them and maybe work on something. So yeah, I'll probably put in last call for questions in chat now, because yeah, I'm probably going to go work on stuff and get paid. So I have money to work on Ergot later. But yeah, I had a really good time. Thanks to the organizers of Rust ChinaConf for like GoSim and the organizer team, especially like Vivian and Alex. You're probably not watching this, but if you are, they're pretty awesome people. Almost missed the stream again. YouTube notifications not working at all. Happen to see this one on the YouTube homepage. Yeah, I don't know. Ring that bell, I guess. I don't know. I try to be. This is why I kind of want to be regular about it. So if you really want to set up a calendar event, you can set up a calendar event. But good to see you here, Lucas. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, you didn't miss much. I have my slides in here. There's a cool discussion issue. We got some cool PRs. It's good to see everyone again. I'm glad people are still showing up for streams and hanging out in chat. But yeah, I'll try and keep this going. Other than that, I don't have a lot. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me know how you're doing in chat. I'm excited that you're here watching. But yeah, maybe I should order a microbit. Actually, I'll share this because this is fun. I watched some. YouTube has this cool thing where you can tell it to just like, okay, you can download up to 10. Is a YouTube Premium thing, I think. But you can tell it like, okay, you can use up to 10 gigs of storage on my phone and just download stuff you think I might want to watch. And that way, when you like get on an airplane, it's just downloaded like 30 hours of content or, whatever. And so it's kind of like what if YouTube made the seat back entertainment for my flights and stuff like that? And one of the things, I guess I watched some like video game lore stuff recently, and one of the things they did is, or one of the videos that I had, I should probably link to it, but it's like how Valve does playtesting, which is actually really interesting to me because it talked to me kind of like video game playtesting. I'm sure is very different than like whatever library design, but I kind of like the idea of playtesting Ergot. And so like we have these demos, but these demos kind of demonstrate one thing. Like it might be kind of cool to either pick an off-the-shelf dev board or make a custom dev board, something cool, and like hand it out to a couple people and be like, hey, let's see if we can get a couple people to hack on the same board at the same thing and just see how people approach problems. Like not necessarily set everything up for them of like, okay, cool, here's all of your services and stuff like that, and be like, cool, here's a board with this many LEDs and this many inputs or buttons or whatever, or these external sensors, and without people peeking, see how people solve that. Like, hey, what would it be like to make this demo, or like spend a day or two in like over a couple weeks and like make some application or some game, or like make the board do something, and kind of treat it like playtesting of like watch people develop it and try not to comment too hard of like how I would do it, and see just how people do it and like get feedback on what people struggle on. Playtesting is interesting because you kind of like watch them play the game so you can see where they struggle, and I don't think I can watch people code, but if people want to put it in a Git repo and things like that, and I would definitely go through like your Git history and stuff like that. So if that all sounds interesting to anyone in chat, let me know. I'm probably, the scale's not big enough for me to sell boards, but I'm not against getting like 10 or 20 cool boards made. Like I have this little RP2040 demo board that I've put together for trainings and stuff before. Let me make sure So this has like a debugger, an RP2040, a bunch of RGB LEDs, some buttons, like potentiometer dial. I think it's got an accelerometer on it too. I could send these out. So if people are like, hey, yeah, I'd be willing to spend a day trying to make it do stuff or make a demo or something, I'd be happy to send some hardware out. Or if we pick like a cool off the shelf dev board, if I could, get them sent out to people, I'd be up for that. So if that sounds interesting to you, let me know, because I kind of like I like the idea of play testing Ergot and like trying to use it for something more than just a demo, and get a couple people's takes on it and just see how people solve that problem and like what they thought sucked or like what was missing or like what they had to figure out. So yeah, I don't know. If you have ideas on how I could do that, let me know. Maybe that's a conference workshop thing that I could organize around some, maybe Rust Week next year or something. Like, find some side space for people to play with it. Microbit is interesting because it's used in the discovery book. Question is whether it's got enough on there to be useful for what you want for Ergot. Yeah, let me pull it up because I have... It is a neat little kit. I'm trying to think. It's got, I think, definitely enough to play with, I think, because it's got a microphone. It's got an accelerometer and a compass. It's got capacitive touch. It's got like a little it's not RGB, but LED panel. I said microphone and speaker. Yeah. So it's got some stuff. It's not like super cheap, but it's also not super expensive, if I remember correctly. Like, I think it's like $30-$40 or something, which is, it's not nothing, but it's, why is that? Oh, it's a 10-pack. Okay, so yeah, like 20. Okay, $20 is better than I thought. Or like 20 euros. It looks like it's more like 35 in there. So I mean, it's not an unreasonable amount. And if I was sending like 5 or 10 of them out, I could probably swing sending 5 or 10 of them out. It's about what it would cost me to make like 10 custom boards. So I think that's reasonable. But yeah, I don't want necessarily people to have to solve a lot of like driver problems. Like, how do I make a speaker work for it well? Because I know that's not super deeply covered in the example. And I need to figure out how its USB works, because I think in some of them the USB was hooked up to the debugger chip. Like, I don't know if they had a hub chip on there. I have to look. Microbit's a possible choice, but I mean, I also could use one of my designs. Like I said, I have like 20 of these sitting around from a workshop, and I think I have some older ones too, like a Gen 1 that I need to... It's all right except for like a couple capacitors are wrong, so I can repair them and send them out, and then I have a bunch more, or I can just order another batch. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. If people like the idea of playtesting, let me know. Open up a discussion or something, or we'll speak in chat, and I'll ping about it again. But yeah, last call on questions. Anything in questions? Otherwise, I hope you're all having a wonderful week. I hope you have a good weekend. We'll see if I hack on Ergot this weekend or if I'm catching up on personal life stuff. But yeah, come check out the slides. Let me know what you think. Hopefully the talk will be up soon. And maybe we'll do a watch along or something on why did I draw the arrow there? Whatever. Oh, that's cool. You can actually select stuff maybe. But yeah. Yeah, have a lovely weekend, everyone. I don't see any questions. Have a great weekend. I won't be streaming this evening because I'm going to be working and it's Friday. But I'll probably see you Monday, and I'll figure out my schedule and update it here. So thanks for everyone for watching. Hello on everyone, the VODs. Join us in chat, and I will see you all soon. Have a great weekend.